division. João Roque, very qualified performer, made his mark throughout the martial arts world. 5'4", age 24. Let's take a closer profile at João Roque.
He's a Brazilian national.
My name is João Roque. I'm a Jiu Jitsu fighter. I'm a grappler.
How tall are you?
How tall is he?
Quanto é o seu tamanho de altura?
1,65 m.
A meter 65.
Normally, I'm prepared to all kinds of situations. I'm married. I have two sons, John and Pedro. All kind of music. I like Brazilian popular music. I'm glad to be here, and I hope to do a good performance. And I believe in the win.
So João Roque, the Pan American gold medalist, will go against Dennis Hall. Dennis Hall, the Olympic silver medalist, coming in here, 5'3", 128. Let's get to know Dennis Hall a little better.
I'm originally from Neosho, Wisconsin, which is about 565 people, so real small town, but I like it. A lot of neighbors think I'm crazy. I do my pull-ups right on that tree over there. And what I do for fun, do a lot of bow hunting, some fishing. I listen mainly to rock, little Ozzy Osbourne, Def Leppard, Metallica, just something to get me going. The Olympics was pretty neat for me this last year, with it being in the United States down in Atlanta. I ended up taking a silver medal, and that's what keeps me wrestling to this day. I want to go back in 2000 and hopefully capture the gold medal for the United States. I feel great, you know, especially after this last World Championships with the way things went. It just motivates me every day, and that's all I'm going to think about until 2000. Actually, I'm not afraid to fight with submission holds in a different style. I'm just looking forward to learning all the new techniques. The reason I started Greco-Roman wrestling was because my brother Dale, he was a lot better at freestyle wrestling than myself, and the only way I could beat him was by throwing him. So I guess he was the one that got me into Greco-Roman wrestling, and I owe him a lot for that. My wife and I just had our first son last August 3rd, and it was an incredible year. A lot of ups and downs in my training. I didn't realize how much the kid would change my training schedule. I'm on his schedule. He's not on mine. After I made my first Olympic team, me and one of my buddies that's fighting, Dan Henderson, I said, hey, let's get a tattoo. I was waiting to get a gold medal put around the bottom, but I guess I'll have to wait until 2000.
Let's see how Dennis Hall and João Roque shape up. 5'4" versus 5'3". Roque with a little bit of a weight advantage, and the age is very similar. Let's get the official introductions. They're both standing by. So is Gary Dell'Abate.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, weighing in tonight at 138 1/2 pounds, standing 5 feet 4 inches tall, from Brasilia, Brazil, he is the 1997 Brazilian Jiu Jitsu World Champion, representing Luis Pederneiras Jiu Jitsu, João Roque. In the blue corner, weighing in tonight at 138 1/2 pounds, standing 5 feet 3 inches tall, from Plover, Wisconsin. He is a 1996 Olympic silver medalist and the 1997 U.S. Nationals champion. Representing the Raw team, Dennis Hall.
Dennis Hall and João Roque, and quite a matchup here, John.
Well, this is the one that I've been waiting for. I have no clue.
Well, when John Peretti is clueless, that is a scoop.
I know that Dennis Hall got that mentality that is good, I think, for here. So, you know, I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything from that position because that's, you know, he's not used to grabbing legs much. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler, so, you know, I don't know exactly. Again, the martial artist is forcing his position.
He looks so strong.
Dan, what would that mentality be? You talked about the right mentality for this.
It's toughness. It's real toughness, and I think it's something that maybe the martial arts people get a little bit.
Got to watch the armbar. Got to watch the armbar bad right now.
See, his leg was vulnerable too, and he let go of his ankle. He had his ankle. He missed that. But you said he didn't go for leg locks. So. He definitely had his ankle stuck right by his head.
João Roque in guard. We'll see what he does from there. And you see Hall driving with his legs to separate the guard, and he does.
Double grapevines.
It's okay, Dennis. It's good, good.
Yeah, but that's not out of the guard, is it?
It's from the guard. He's grapevining to keep the pressure off his, you know, off his chest. That's a really strange thing Dennis Hall's doing. He's trying to drive up through, but his legs are stuck. I don't know what his idea is there.
Now he'll try to do it from the top, and João Roque sees that. Tries to drape around him.
Told you he's a little bit mean.
He crushed him right up against the fence, didn't he?
The guy hurt his head. He actually hurt his head. He went for it.
Now João Roque trying to use the elbows around the neck here, then try to bring the legs up, and Hall, realizing that, anticipated driving forward with the head so that he can't be caught.
It's a nice little move by João Roque to get away from that fence, wasn't it, Dan?
He slid right around. Yeah, he slid right around. Yeah, you know, we're really in unfamiliar ground here. The wrestlers are in unfamiliar ground with this, you know, no scoring there. So
and João Roque's trying to get up.
Yeah, he looks like he's looking for a lock.
Yeah, you know, he's trying to get up and he'll roll back off of it.
Locked, then he'll try to come back down here.
Try to go to mount. He does it. Big accomplishment.
He gets it to the mount. Big one.
Big points.
Scoring point there by João Roque.
I can't believe we're in that same position. I mean, this is a position we don't want to be in ever, and we're kind of just hanging out there.
Let's see what João Roque does from the control. We haven't seen the jiu-jitsu community here, John, in much of control situations.
This is the first position. This is the first time the wrestler's been in this position.
You got to be real careful now.
Wow, come out. I can't believe the jiu-jitsu guy didn't know what to do with it.
He knew what to do. He couldn't. This kid's tough.
They are neutralized, and so Dennis Hall neutralizing the mount by João Roque. And round one will come to a close.
But he didn't.
This will be an interesting one, scheduled for 5, of course.
João Roque won this round.
Get that reversal, right?
He mounted him. I mean, he scored a deliberate point.
A reversal point, or what do you call that?
Well, we give him a point for getting the mount.
Well, I never heard that in the rules meeting.
Yeah, remember we described the mount position, and that's what he achieved.
So João Roque doing what the other jiu-jitsu wrestlers had not been able to attain the mounts. Most of the jiu-jitsu fighters have been on their back, and here is João Roque getting to the top here. And then Dennis Hall, Dan, fighting his way out of it very adroitly.
Right, well, a little bit of a scramblability there, but, you know, he really got stepped over with the hips. The guy really did a nice hip move on him to get his, I believe, a point for the round there.
Dennis Hall, a 1996 Olympic silver medalist, 1997 U.S. Nationals champion. Considered an ultimate competitor, aggressive, emotional. And João Roque here got himself a good first round. And we start round 2.
See, that terrific reversal was from his own guard.
I don't remember the other point. I only remember one situation where he was in dominance.
So a couple points on the board for João Roque here. This is Dave Fontempo along with John Peretti and Dan Gable. Glad you're with us on the Contenders, which has been an interesting melting pot potpourri of the martial arts disciplines against the wrestlers. And we've had anxious moments, near finishing holds by both.
Gotta be careful.
Now,
Triangle's starting.
Hall is driving. Hawk wants to lure him into a triangle position. But the arm of Hall has prevented that. He's got the arm draped around the leg. Hall can get around that. Hawk can get around the arm. He might be able to stick that up. But you need strength, agility, quickness to achieve all these moves.
Dennis Hall has to be very careful from a key lock here. A key lock on that shoulder. Oh, he's out.
So Hawk back in the guard.
Triangle starts. If he does that again.
We've talked about the triangle, how devastating it can be. So difficult to achieve, but Hawk is trying it yet again.
Yes, he is. He goes from the triangle to the closed guard and back to the triangle again. He's really working.
And he's working for instant results. He's not caring about a point. He wants the end.
He's searching for submission.
Trying to force Dennis Hall into a mistake. You take a look at the martial arts people looking on. John Lewis, one of those.
Hall is really spending a lot of energy to try to get
big headbutt. Big headbutt.
By who?
Dennis Hall, he tried
really badly.
He tried to get some leverage inside.
He headbutted him really badly.
Who headbutted who?
Dennis Hall headbutted John Hawk really badly.
Can we see it? Can we see it?
We'll have an opportunity to look at that, I'm sure, and you can have a disqualification for flagrant offenses. That will not be judged to be one. Watch the head of Hall. He's moving for position.
Oh.
Wow, that was more flagrant.
Pretty flagrant headbutt.
Than it looked initially. And then he looks up at the ref. Did you see that?
I thought he drove in with his head. I didn't know. I think he drove in with his head, but I didn't know if he looked where he was driving.
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know if it was on purpose as much as he just drove in with his head.
Well, not a well-executed technique by Hall, and we start from the standing position again. Dennis Hall, John Hawk. Good matchup, as all of them have been here. Hawk trying to attain guard, went down, so no takedown could be applied on him. You talked, Dan, before about the lack of takedowns, and that's been one good reason. The jiu-jitsu fighters put themselves down so that no takedown, which is a point, can be obtained.
That's right. And that's the tactics of backing up and throwing themselves down is definitely a tactic that's good for the martial arts, and that's where most of the matches have been wasting. You know, just right in here. It's just nobody's really got an advantage position, one side or the other.
When you consider how low-scoring the matches have been in general, the jiu-jitsu fighters do not want to give away what they would consider a cheap point via a takedown. And so this round comes to a close. Scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds.
Hall's getting frustrated, and he's losing his cool a bit. That's what his problem is. Yeah.
And that was, in my opinion,
well, probably cost him a point.
I didn't see the point.
Who gave him the point?
I didn't see it taken away.
Oh.
Try to find out.
Taken away, that'd give him a -1 then, huh?
The headbutting here, a point does not always have to be assessed for a penalty. A warning can be just as effectively administered. A point is not automatic. And so we saw that Hall was warned, not in this shot.
I think that was the second one.
Not in this shot.
I think it was after the headbutt or something.
Yeah, we need to see the first one.
Did they, who knows how they call that? Yeah, see, I thought it looked like he just put his head down and drove forward, but I don't think he realized the guy's head was that low.
Looked like it was going to be a warning.
He did, he warned him.
So second time probably would be a point. We start the next round, round 3. Dennis Hall, John Hawk on the Contenders, a brand new form of the martial arts and the wrestling communities getting together.
Hey, this is cute.
And settling their differences. And now we see a little bit of taunting.
I see Dennis Hall getting frustrated. Dan,
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, he wants the guy to come after him, and that's not his style.
That's right.
No, the guy's style is right against the fence like that, and then he throws himself down.
And there he goes. He's not giving away a point.
Yeah.
Why give away a point? That's the way the jiu-jitsu fighters approach this competition. And then they try instantly to do something off of that. And what they're sacrificing is the ground, but they're happy to be on the ground anyway.
Dennis is frustrated.
Man, we almost...
Now, Dennis told me he was going to throw some people in the air in this one.
Yeah, but he thought the guy would lock up with him.
Well, he's picking him up now.
We may see a slam, which has been absent from this competition here. Where have the throws been?
You can't throw somebody when they're on their back.
Good point, Dan. Key lock, very dangerous. Potential is there.
Hawk trying to lure Hall into a position here for any type of a lock.
Dennis Hall's doing a really strange thing here, Dan. Maybe you can explain it to me. He's driving up under, but he's keeping his arms there. I don't know how he thinks he's going to elevate him in that position.
I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he just feels comfortable
pushing.
Just staying out of, he would like to get out of there. He don't want to be there. I can tell just the way he's acting.
Dennis Hall doing a little freelancing here.
And that's the case of the majority of the kids, the wrestlers tonight. They just didn't probably feel too comfortable in this position.
Look at John Hawk, pretty calm right now.
Oh yeah, all the jiu-jitsu guys have been just expressionless in this position.
John Hawk could be conducting a seminar right now from this position. Now, when I have the guy here, I'm going to do this. He's waiting. He's looking at his corner. He's getting coached at the same time.
He's doing a good job of convincing that he's in control.
Yeah, Dennis Hall's actually pulling on his foot a bit, but
yeah, if he pulls that the wrong way, it's going to be a lot of pain for John Hawk.
John Hawk's pretty sexy. He see what he's saying now is he can't roll him because the fence is there, but he would try to sweep him, but he can't because the fence is there.
Goes for the leg.
Goes back to full guard because he knows he can't sweep him.
Yeah, Hall too well positioned to allow that sweep. And so the third round is going to go in the books, and a rather quiet one.
Yeah,
there's a headbutt again, not called.
This is how he mounted him. This is how he mounted him before.
This is where he pushes his head in there. He didn't headbutt that time, but that apparently I'd be careful if I was him, just because they're looking for it.
He's going to tell him again. Referee's going to tell him again. He's warning him again.
He made contact with the head, Dan.
And that's right.
I think it was a butt. Well, unintentional, but I think it was a butt nonetheless.
Well, here's Dave Bontempo. He's the master of seeing the headbutt.
Seen my share of headbutts. This one at least won't open up a cut. Let's take a look at it.
Nice technical advantage using the shorts.
So he called that a headbutt right there. You see that? Put his head down in there, and I don't know.
Well, I didn't see anything.
Yeah. From that angle, not conclusive, but John Donahue issuing a second warning for the head, and Dennis Hall will have to keep that in mind. Start the fourth round coming up.
So he's warned him, the next one he's going to kick.
John Donahue issued a warning off of the second headbutt. Another one would result in a point. That's a fair job of officiating, letting the fighters know exactly where they stand and not being too point happy, especially in a low scoring contest. As a referee, you don't like to decide it. So the fourth round is underway. Dan, based off what you've seen on the competition, Hawk getting a couple points, what would you tell Hall here to try to reverse things?
Well, I think if I was, I think one disadvantage Hall has right now is that he's not a leg tackler.
I really like John Hawk right now. I think he's showing a lot of guts.
No, I think he's showing that I'm winning the match. That's what he's saying. You know, he's confident in his mind he's winning the match. But Hall wants him to come in, but that's not their game. That's not their game.
Hawk is trying to get.
Hall's going to have to stalk him, and he's going to have to going to have to get out of there though. Let's see, when the guy falls, he needed to back up.
He didn't.
No, he made contact. He needed to back up. Be able to move on his feet.
You wonder
to the side.
Tried to roll him.
You wonder if Hall could, when that happens, go to the side quickly, look for some side control.
That's
off
if
of
he would retreat
slide
a little bit. If he would retreat, but instead he's just so used to attacking that it's just real difficult.
You see John Hawk lying on his back saying, no, you're not going to make this. You see him holding both wrists.
Very cool customer, John Hawk. Most people on the bottom, it can be a panic situation, but we've seen with the Brazilian fighters and the jiu-jitsu art, not that way at all. Triangle attempt, rejected, back in the guard. for John Hawk. And John, I like how quickly he goes from an offensive maneuver, which didn't work, right into guard position again.
Yeah, I mean, John Hawk is just terrific. That's why I wanted to see this bout so badly, because this guy is so renowned for being, you know, so good with the gi. He tried to do that.
He tried that hip heist.
Yeah.
John Hawk has basically instinctively in his head, he's 3 or 4 moves ahead of what's happening.
That's right. That's right. It's a calculation game. But I'll tell you, I'm learning some vocabulary over here from Dan Gable.
Oh, a hip heist, huh?
Hip heist is very common in all wrestling. That's one of our maneuvers for counters.
He's going to do it again. He's trying to get that mount position again.
And John Hawk again looking over toward his people.
There's not much time.
Waiting for somebody to tell him to do it. John Hawk using the fence. Hall trying to drive forward. Not much offensive room for Dennis Hall, and not much time left in round 4. And the way this has been shaping up, John Hall has a couple of points, and a couple of points in this match may seem like an eternity to overcome.
I think John Hawk is winning this, don't you?
Yes. And having the couple-point lead for John Hawk this late is very big.
It's not over. Yeah, he's cocky. He don't need it, you know. I guess it's good for the crowd. Get the crowd into it.
Well, part of the big psychological warfare that goes on in the minds of some.
Yeah.
With some people, it's a matter of machismo and your manhood being tested by the wrestling, and so you'll always get the look that you're very confident. John Lewis coaching John Hawk, and John Lewis, a very fine athlete, wrestler in his own right. And there's Pederneiras over there. Final round. Dennis Hall, John Hawk. It would appear from all indications that John Hawk is in control of this match. We'll find out when it's over. The scoring for the throws, the sweeps, the takedowns, going behind the head, getting behind the reversals. But there has been very little of that. What we have seen instead is an instinctive and fine defensive struggle.
Oh, that was a mistake again. Same mistake.
Well, Dennis Hall has not had that ability, Dan, to when Hawk goes immediately down to go for the side control. That would give him a big advantage, and that's something that we'll look for in future competitions. Hall on top, but not being effective there, and the guard by John Hawk, who, I'll tell you what, you can't ask for somebody more comfortable protecting what we would think is a lead, John. Very poised, he is very tough, he's not showing himself to be vulnerable here.
I think it's a lead, but I have no idea what those 3 over there are thinking.
Oh, they think it's a lead. If you said they scored 2 points in the first round, you said that?
They said that.
To you?
Yeah.
Well, then there hasn't been anything since that time. Has there? Have you seen anything?
No.
I've seen no points by either side.
No, I mean, Dennis Hall hasn't gotten out of the guard in the last 3 rounds.
And a good look at the would-be triangle, but because Hall has his head down far enough, he's been able to stay out of disaster, but a good position here for John Hawk.
Yeah, this is interesting for me, though, because the triangle is so close.
Yes.
He beat it.
You know, he was a little bit reluctant. John Hawk at the top to drive down just a little further, which is what he needed.
But he's still trying to attack. John Hawk is continually attacking with attempted submissions.
Oh, a slap there by Dennis Hall.
That was all right.
Yeah, Dan says it, no offense.
You got to get a little tough. This is
no head bringing, no foul.
You know, we didn't come here to get a little bit of excitement.
I was just announcing it, Dan, not taking a moral judgment on it.
You know, those are setups. These guys got setups. They roll to their back. We slap a little bit. We pop the head, but we don't want a headbutt. But we like to pop the head a little bit with a hand. But it's not really working, so we're back in the guard.
We've never left.
Well, he did break loop. Remember, he was on his feet.
He tried for the
he was completely away
off the guard, but
not a reversal.
No.
For Dennis Hall, it's been a bout in which he's had very little opportunity for offense. He's tried to drive into offensive position, but John Hawk has not let him have it, and it would appear that John Hawk has this one safely tucked away.
You can't grab the neck, huh?
See, what was he doing? I couldn't see.
He just grabbed the neck, and he pulled his hand away.
He's doing something. Anyway, the bell rang.
Bout is over. John Hawk convinced he won. Crowd not happy. Dennis Hall goes around, says he won. And thus far, we've seen 3 wrestlers prevail and 1 martial artist.
Dennis Hall just winked at me.
He thinks I think he thinks that he's going to win.
Well, every decision thus far has gone to a wrestler. And if you're the wrestler here, maybe you feel the same way.
But I don't think he's going to win this one. I don't think he's going to win this one based on a couple other situations that, that happened during the event.
The only reversals that occurred were from John Hawk. The only points scored were from John Hawk.
Well, I saw 1 point.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a judge's decision. The winner by 2-1 rounds, John Hawk.
And so, as we suspected, John Hawk gets the win. 2nd win for the martial artists versus 3 for the wrestlers. And John Hawk doing it mostly in the 1st round, as it turned out, and then able to maintain the lead after that. We talked about his ability to keep his lead. And John Hawk is standing by now with Jim Scheer.
A lot of emotion.
John, come here. A very, very tactical fight. You looked like you almost had his arm locked out early in the 1st period.
Well, first place, good night. And sorry about my English. I would like to thank Lewis Pederneiras team and my family, my mother, my 2 sons, and my wife, Jacqueline. Thanks.
Congratulations. Great fight. Great time.
And